I'm ADCArtAttack, welcome back to a brand new drawing video, and in today's video we are going to be redeeming ourselves. That's right, last time I coloured Spider-Man in one of my colouring book series and I wasn't too happy with it. During the video I complained quite a lot about the quality of the paper and I thought I could do better. However, looking back at it, I actually think it looks kind of good. I mean, yeah, it's not the best piece of work that I've ever done in my life, but I actually really like it. It has grown on me substantially since I uploaded it. So, we are now back to attempt to colour Spider-Man once again. However, this time I'm going to challenge myself yet again to do a new style. Something that I've not done before. Well, I have, but it's not something that I do regularly. And that is going to be the comic book style of colouring. Now, I have grazed the internet looking for all types of reference images and all types of source material to educate myself on how to do this. And I found nothing. No, I found an image, and this is the image. It looks kind of good, right? So we're going to redraw that thing, and I'm going to try to put my twist on it, my colouring style, in a comic book style, and we're going to see how that works out. And what I'll be doing is, during this whole video, is just explaining to you exactly what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, what I'm using, and hopefully helping you to create your own Spider-Man image. So, with that being said, I don't know where to go with this. Let's start the video. Right, so starting this off, as we have ourselves a reference image this time, we are able to just draw it as we see it, which is pretty much handy and very, I mean, there's not much of a tutorial I can give you for drawing this, because I'm just going to be kind of drawing what I see, so I guess we can give you some kind of advice on that. Pro tip number one is use a pencil, I guess. Don't really jump into it with an ink or anything like that. Use a light pencil. I mean, it's entirely up to you. There is no right or wrong way about this. You can use a light pencil, like a H pencil, or you can use a darker pencil, like a B pencil. They're just softer leads, and it's entirely up to you which one you use. I think that the B pencils erase a little bit easier, so it's up to you if you feel that you're going to be erasing quite a bit. They do, however, smudge quite easily. So when you're doing your rough guides, it's really a give and take. It's up to you which you prefer. I like to do my rough sketches in the H range, so I'll be doing my sketch phases around a 3H to a 4H pencil. And once I've got those sort of rough guided areas down, I'll start to refine those details a little bit more to make it clear to me what it is that I'm doing. So to do that, I'll move up a stage, or come down a stage, so I'll come closer towards that HBB area, and I'll use this part to start refining some of those shapes. Once we have those areas refined, we can add some more details. Now, this is entirely up to you. You don't have to do this step. It's up to you. I just like to make my life a little bit easier when it comes to inking. So I'm going to be sort of jumping into it and adding some more details here. So again, I move to a darker pencil, so I go more into the B stage of things, and I start to just, you know, really let the drawing come together at this point, and I'm starting to put in those details that I need to put in. Also, if you feel like it, it is also a good step right here to start adding areas that you think you're going to be shadowing, so you can start to map out using your pencil where those shadows are going to be, where those solid black areas are going to be, because we'll be using black to color this. And this is a coloring style that is, to be honest, my favorite coloring style, and we'll go into that later once we start doing it. But yeah, using black is just so difficult to do, but it's so beautiful once you get it done. So let's just finish drawing Spider-Man himself, and then we'll go on to the rest of the drawing. Okay, so with that done, we're going to start fine lining, outlining, doing the inking stage. And with this, you want to get yourself a good quality fine liner. You want a fine liner that isn't going to bleed, one that isn't going to erase when you start erasing it and fading out and things, and you also don't want it to smudge with your pens. Now, this is extremely difficult to find a good one, and I'll give you my pro tips on them, which are use either the Copic Multiliner, which is extremely expensive, so if you do use this thing, be prepared to dig deep into your pocket because it will run you a high price tag. In fact, it comes in at about 5 to 6 times more expensive than the ones that I use regularly. but I can't deny it is a good fine liner. However, I would not place it ahead of Unipin, which are the ones I use regularly, and they can run you anywhere from like €1, which could be like $1.50, up to about $2 or, you know, €1.50, something like that. So they are exceptional. They come in all sizes, so you can pretty much choose whichever one you feel most comfortable. There is no right or wrong way, okay? I would say there is kind of a wrong way. Don't use like a 0.05 to outline the edges, because you're gonna, one, destroy that fine liner, and two, it's just gonna take you forever. For me, my optimum range is between the 0.2 and the 0.3. You can go up to the 0.5, which is quite big, and the 0.8, which is even bigger. I do feel that I have quite a bit more control with those. However, you kind of want a little bit more variation in your lines when you're going quite small. So I don't know, it's up to you, whichever inking style you're going for. But I would say as a nice base to start with, 0.3, 0.2, they're good areas to start with, and just find your feet. Now, when inking a character like Spider-Man, I would suggest that you don't do the webbing, right? He's got webs all over his entire thing, his clothing, and you don't want to kind of ink all of that, because you run a high risk of smudging. However, when you got a good quality fine liner, you probably won't. So it also depends on how you color as well. I'm quite a light colorer. When I do my coloring, I'm quite light with it, so the chances of me smudging are quite slim. However, not everyone holds the pen the same way as me, not everyone layers the same way as me, or has the same control as me. I mean, I'm not really that strong with the Force, but I would put myself sort of, no, what, it's okay. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, we're all different. So if you are beginning and you just want to try it out, I would suggest not doing the web first. I did the web first because I wasn't thinking. I wasn't actually intending to do the web first. I just did it because I wasn't thinking. Okay, so as you can see, I'm starting to lay in those black areas. I'm starting to put those down first. Again, this comes into, I don't know which is right or wrong. I don't know if you should, as I said, I'm completely new to this style. I've never done this style, or I've never done it to this degree anyway. I don't know which is the right way to go. I don't know whether you should do the black first or whether you should do the markers first. I did the black first because I was pretty confident that I wasn't going to get any smudging, any bleeding, and if I did get any of that, it would actually work into my favor, because I want those areas close to the black to be as dark as possible. So even if it does bleed, it's pretty good, right? That was my theory anyway. And it kind of did work out, so doing the black first was pretty good for me, and I was very happy with the result. So we're going to get those blacks finished, and then we're going to get on to coloring. And here we are, it's time to color. So coloring is pretty much a very complicated process. When you're doing something like this, I'm doing a sort of, you would usually use something like a watercolor or something like that to color something like this. I'm using markers, obviously. I'm sure there are some artists out there who do comics and can probably weigh in on this, but they do use markers as well. It's not, as far as I know, a very common practice to use markers, because you can't really get those variations, and blending is a nightmare, and also, as we say, you get a lot more smudging. But I'm using markers, and what I got to do here is select a really sort of, I need to pick my colors cleverly. They need to be picked in a way that I don't need to add highlights, or I don't need to add too many highlights later on, so the highlights are already built into the foundations of this drawing. So what I've done is I've picked myself some really light colors, and I'm going to be doing this all in stages because I want to do it while the ink is wet, while the alcohol is still there, while it's still wet and ready to be used in these pens, well, on the paper. So I start with a color like ginger. This is a very sort of like orangey, reddy kind of color, and it just works well. If you shine a light on red, it sort of glows this kind of color. If you're showing it through, say, the other side of it, it just has a really nice natural glow to it. So I'm using ginger, then I'm going on to like a lipstick red, and from there I just sort of double up. So I got the ginger, I go back over the lipstick red, and I'm blending them back in. I'm letting that sort of wash out into itself, and it just removes any harsh edge between the two of them and bleeds them into each other. And that's what you want. You want the bleeding. So you do want to get yourself like a sketch paper. It will use up the ink in your pens quite heavily. However, when you're doing something like this, you have to sacrifice that, and you have to say to yourself, look, if my pens don't last, they don't last. At the end of the day, I want to create quality, good work. It doesn't matter if your pens do not last. What matters is the results of that thing that you're doing. So don't worry about it too much. Try to take that out of the equation and just do what you're doing. So as you can see, I'm just using a different variations of reds all the way down to a walnut, and I actually tried my best to limit the amount of black shadows on the reds themselves. I noticed this was a common theme with Spider-Man. Most of the black shadows were contained within the blue sections. The red sections didn't really have any of it. So I tried my best to just leave them out, and it really does work by the end. So we're going to get on with coloring the rest of the reds, and I do actually jump between the reds and the blues. It's up to you how you do this. I just got very lazy. Well, I didn't get lazy, I got bored of just doing the reds. So I wanted to switch over, and that's why I did the blues, just to add a bit of excitement to it. So that's what happened there. And the blues are pretty much the same principle as the reds. Choose yourself a really nice washed out blue color, something that looks good under a glow. And then you just go into it a little bit darker and darker and darker. And you're just feeding it. You're just doing, yeah, that stuff. But don't worry about your placements as well. Seriously. Don't worry about your placements. The black areas have already done the work for you. So in terms of how you color this from now on, there is no right or wrong way. You can make this as splotchy, as patchy, as off as you like. It doesn't matter because the black shadows have already thrown it off. The black shadows have already directed how that's going to look. So don't worry too much. Just be free with this and have some fun. There's probably so many mistakes here with sort of like how I've done the highlights, but it doesn't matter because it's whatever, right? I don't know. Enjoy. Alright, so Spider-Man's almost done, and you're probably getting annoyed with me that I haven't finished that area right there. Yeah, so, I don't know. You're going to be angry at me when I tell you this, but I kind of forgot to, so by the end of... No, I'm joking. Come on in, let's do it right now. There you go. Alright, so with that done, we're going to start adding some highlights. Now, I'm just adding highlights with a white gel pen, and the way I'm doing this is I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just going for wherever those sort of brightest areas of his clothing are, and I'm just adding like dots and lines. And there is no system, and this is what I keep saying, there's no system to this. I don't care. It's not about caring. It's about having fun and being free, and that is what art is about. You don't need to overthink it too much, and that's what I'm doing here. I'm not overthinking it. Of course, I care about the end results. I really want this to look good, and I am stressing about it a little bit, and I want it to look good, and why doesn't it look good? And no, it does look good. It looks alright, actually. So, yeah, I'm kind of happy with that. And as I say, the white highlights, well, they're just going anywhere. Anywhere that's sort of light-ish, that's where I'm putting them. And that's my tip. Hope it helps. Alright, so with Spider-Man done, he was the focus of this thing. I'm just going to kind of like throw a background in here, just sort of working with perspective to a degree, but I'm not going to like overthink this. So we're going to try and do a background, but I don't really know what to do. So buildings, I guess. Alright, well, this is going to take long. I hope you enjoyed this bit, and I'll catch you at the end of the video. That's going to be exciting. When we look at the whole thing, then we judge it, and hopefully we all like it. Alright, enjoy the video. See you at the end. Bye. There it is. Wow. Wow, actually. Huh. I like it. I don't care. I like it. I think it looks cool. Yeah, this is basically, I would say this is my first time doing comic book style like this. It's not something I do. I'm an anime artist or manga artist, however you want to rephrase that. That's my specialty. And realism, that's something I've done in the past. That's something I actually started practicing, was realism. And I never did really comic book styles. I did do comic book characters, but comic book styles have always eluded me. It's never been something that I've wanted to do, but it is my favorite art style. I will say that. And I guess that's probably why I never did it, is because I've had such aspiration, or like, is that a word? Aspiration to it? I don't know. Admiration. Admiration is the word I'm looking for. I've had so much admiration for that style, and I think that the artists that do it are just geniuses. I think it looks amazing. It's beautiful. It's so easy on the eye. And yeah, to try and replicate that today, I did have to grab myself a reference to sort of source the character himself, because I didn't want to stray too far from it. I wanted the focus to be the coloring style itself. I didn't want to overthink the character's physique, design, drawing, and all this stuff. Yeah, I think it looks good. I'm really happy with the results. I do think it's considerably better than my coloring book one. That said, I actually do think the coloring book one did look fantastic by the end, and I really don't know now, because I don't know which is better, actually. I know I promised to do one in my own style, but that sort of slipped out the window there. What do you think about it? If you like it, let me know, and that would be super. Yeah, alright. Thanks for watching. So before we actually sign off right here, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who has been supporting me lately. The channel growth has been absolutely insane. We have gained around 30,000 subscribers in the last couple of weeks, which has just been mind-blowingly awesome. So thank you all so much. And yeah, hopefully I can bring some new exciting content to the channel. I do have a wedding coming up, so the next 3 weeks of my life are going to be incredibly busy with a honeymoon, a wedding, and family coming over. So it's going to be very stressful, and I'm going to do my best to get my content out there. Thank you all so much. I look forward to hitting 200,000 subscribers, and what do you say to that? That's, you know what? We'll do it in the live video. I'll probably live stream. So if you're looking forward to that, leave your alerts on, and I'll do a live stream thanking you. That'd be cool. I never know what to do with these outros, so we're just gonna stare at each other awkwardly for a little bit. Bye.